So, what are the immediate implications of that? Number one, maybe there's a real assassination group that they're trying to scare me. And if I back out, then they'll come out in the headlines and say he got scared about the assassins. If I insist on coming home and I get shot, then they can always say, now look, we told you it was an assassination plot. And you insisted, so don't blame us. I am going back to the Philippines, and if I have to go back to jail, so be it. I've always said that Mr. Marcos is the original terrorist. He is right now employing state violence. If we use violence against him, he will only justify the use of more violence against us. And since he's a more violent man, he has more forces of repression, we will be the loser. Because if you're not violent, then before the bar of public opinion and before God, he's the only sinner.
I have proclaimed martial law in accordance with the powers vested in the President by the Constitution of the Philippines.
On that day, democracy died. I grew up in New Manila. Every afternoon, I would bike kasama ng mga street boys until dinner time. Palagi akong nakabuntot kay Papa. He was always attending to the needs of the people. I knew then I wanted to be in public service like him.
Ninoy lost his father when he was 15, so he felt he had to do something on his own to show that, I suppose that because he loved his father very much, and he wanted people to know that he took a lot after his father and that he was willing to risk many things. He was blessed with many talents. He wasn't a student in the real sense of the word. He read, but he did not read probably the books that were meant to be read in school.
When I was 17, I joined the Manila Times. My job was to run errands for the newsmen. I'd pick up and deliver copies for them. I read and read and read what they wrote and learned to write on my own. Soon, they needed somebody to cover the Korean War. Siyempre, nagpresenta ako. I hopped on the next military plane for Korea.
Ninoy took risks. Well, starting, I guess, when he went to Korea, when he was only 17. There was a great danger that he could be killed there or injured, but he wanted to do something different, something unusual for a 17-year-old.
President Ramon Magsaysay, who I met during my days at Manila Times, asked me to broker the surrender of Communist leader Luis Taruc. Taruc has been fighting the government for like 20 years. I acted on it immediately, and I was able to negotiate his surrender.
We never applied for political asylum. And Ninoy always told me, this is something very temporary, and eventually I'll have to go home. Ninoy said, if I don't go now, I will ask myself later on, I could have done something and I did not do anything, and I will blame myself forever. The night before he left, I really couldn't sleep, and it was August. He left August 13, so August 12. And August is a summer month, but in Boston, sometimes it gets cool, and sabi ko, Ninoy, I can't sleep, and I have chills. And sabi niya, Ninoy, I'm really worried. Sabi niya, Cory, we've talked about this for a long time. I know, and it's just that I wanted you to know how I feel. Before he left, sabi ko, Ninoy, can you tell me what possible scenarios there will be? Kasi siguro when I get there, they'll arrest me and bring me to Fort Bonifacio again, or because I have had a triple bypass, baka na madalhin ako sa heart center, or then again,
And I debated with my mind, and I debated with myself, and I debated with my wife and my children whether I should go back to the arena of combat. I felt that I've already earned my peace. I have done my best. I waited for 7 years and 7 months, and the Filipino people did not react. And they would even give me the impression that they loved their chain and their slavery. What can one man do if the Filipino people love their slavery? If the Filipino people have lost their voice and would not say no to a tyrant? What can one man do? I have no army, I have no following, I have no money. I only have my indomitable spirit. Much as my family would have wanted to go home with me, I had to tell them no. Masyadong delikado. It will draw too much attention. Cory would have been the perfect travel partner, of course, but not under this circumstance.
ours was not a perfect marriage, of course, but I believe that he brought out the best in me, and I think I brought out the best in him. Because Ninoy and I were one. We could rely on each other. That no matter what happened, he'd be there for me and I'd be there for him.
But 12 hours into the trip, I miss her terribly.
Everything just went according to Ninoy's plans. He ran for mayor when he was not yet even 23, which was the required age for running for a town mayor. He also loved people. He was such an extrovert. I was never for him going to politics, but he believed that was what he was meant to do, and so I was there to support him. He enjoyed being a politician. He enjoyed the crowds. He enjoyed giving speeches. And the people just loved him when he gave those speeches.
Ninoy Aquino has confirmed to be one of the youngest.
Nung tumakbo ko sa Senado, ibang labanan. I had to reach out to the whole nation. I even used a chopper to make grand entrances. Kailangan talagang mag-gimmick.